In any job search, you'll discover there are several different ways to look for a job. Some are better than others. It's up to the individual job seeker to see which works best for them.
In this program, we'll go into detail on where to look for jobs and who to talk to. We'll also learn about the key tools and the variety of effective strategies you can utilize in your job search. This will provide you a wider range of approaches and ideas you can use to your advantage.
And knowing all the resources available to you and how to look for positions will give you a better opportunity in finding a career. Welcome to the ultimate job search for the 21st century. Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Brett Anderson.
And I'm Tia Marlier. This series is designed to give you important information and effective strategies to conduct your own successful job search.
At this point of the job search, you should have a pretty good idea of your skills and experience and the different occupational fields you're interested in pursuing.
Keeping these in mind, it's now time to look at what job search techniques are best for you to find the occupations that fit your own profile. Ways to answer questions like, who's hiring? What's out there? Where do I start?
I've been to a couple career fairs, and I also look on the internet, mostly online career sites, internet want ads.
Networking, past clients, acquaintances.
Oh, I've always found my jobs through the job service.
I'll look online or in newspapers, through friends.
I found my current job through family and relatives.
I talk to people I know.
There are several different places you can go and resources you can use in your job search. Some are more effective than others. Putting these in motion will give you the best advantage of finding the right job or career. The number one way people find jobs is through networking.
Building a network means letting all your contacts know you're looking for a job, communicating openly about your unemployment situation. Now, if you asked around, you'd probably find that the majority of people got their job through someone they knew. And the more people in your network who know you're looking for work, the better your chances are of finding a job. The way you start your job search network is by making a contact list. First, list your personal contacts. This would be family, friends, neighbors, classmates, and so on. Then list your professional contacts, past work colleagues, people in the industry, military contacts, school teachers or counselors, and don't stop there. Next, you want to list all the organizations and associations you belong to, like your church or sports leagues, veterans groups, or even join a job club. List anyone and everyone you can think of. Then, once you have your list of contacts, start talking to them. Give them what we call a 30-second commercial about yourself. This little commercial is basically a highlight of what you're interested in and what you can do.
Hi, Eric. Good to see you again.
Hey, really appreciate you taking time.
You
Please.
bet. Thanks.
How's the job going?
Oh, it's going really well. How you doing?
Pretty good. Is Mark still working with you?
He sure is. Yeah, he's keeping really busy. So what's up?
Well, as you know, I got laid off a few weeks ago, and right now I'm in the process of trying to get my bearings. You were our sales rep for all those years, and you know a lot of people in this business. Right now I'm at the point of gathering information, and I was wondering, are there any clients that you're working with whom I can contact?
Well, one of my best customers is a guy named Randy Sherman. He calls me about once a week to place a pretty big order, so I know they're really swamped down there. Now, I don't know if they're hiring or not, but he might be able to answer some of your questions.
That's great. Do you think you'd mind if I called him?
Probably not. But let me give him a call first. I need to give him a heads up on this. He gets so many phone calls from people looking for work or for people trying.
Another way to network is to call and talk to people who actually work in or supervise the position or field you're interested in pursuing. You want to find the most current, up-to-date information on that career, the type of education they're looking for, the kind of experience or specific skills you need for the job, and even the outlook for the future.
When you're calling companies, you're not asking for a job, you're asking for information. You want to find out what they know. Who can they refer you to? Try to get at least one helpful piece of information from each contact and hopefully more referrals. This way, your network can continue to grow. You'll be surprised how many people are willing to help.
When making networking contacts, start by contacting the people who are the easiest for you to talk to. Then work your way up to the more difficult ones. You may have to force yourself to make the first few calls, and you may run into some dead ends. But the more you do, the easier it will get, and the more possibilities you will have. Email is another way to network. You can network with career professionals and other job seekers by going online and visiting discussion boards and community forums. Just keep your message brief and to the point, checking spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Always follow up with a thank you note to anyone you contact. The workbook has a list of networking ideas and resources, as well as examples of scripts you can use in your networking.
Once you have a better idea of the occupation you're going to pursue, you'll need to do research on specific companies you'll tailor your resume and application for, and better prepare yourself for the interview. Researching a company will be one of the most important things you'll do during your job search, because employers value individuals who take the time to learn about their company. It shows they have interest and enthusiasm for the company and the job, and it's a good way to see if you're a fit for their company.
When I conduct an interview, the first question on my list always is, what do you know about this company? I know right away who has spent their time researching our company, and I usually give the edge to the person who does. It's not that difficult. A lot of our information is right on our website.
I was called in for an interview at a particular company, and you know they were going to ask me the "what do you know about this company" question. They always do. So I went on their website for about 20 minutes and I researched what they did, what their history was, and some other things. And when the interview came, just about every question they asked me related on whether my skills and experience would fit in with their company. I'm really glad I answered their questions based on my research, because I don't think I would have been offered this position if I hadn't. I gotta believe that's the reason.
There are a variety of ways to check out information about a company. The first is to visit the company's website. The main reason many companies have a website is to market their product and describe what they do. You can usually find this located in the About Us or Company History section of their site. Find out what their product is, what the mission and history of the company is, or current events. This is the type of information you can refer to when targeting your resume or preparing for an interview. You might even find contact names. Many companies also list job opportunities that they have available. Now, it takes a lot more effort, but visiting companies directly is another good way to do research. Talk to people you come in contact with and find out as much as you can. What do they do? What's the attitude of people working there? Ask them about potential job openings and experience needed. See if they can provide you with contact names. Most people are willing to answer questions about their job. Try to get any information about their company, like brochures, packets, marketing materials that they use to get customers. Once you get all that you need, you'll be much better prepared for pursuing positions at that company.
The library is also a place to help you find written information on a company. Ask the librarian to direct you to the business section, which will have various trade magazines and newspaper articles. Take good notes of what you find. In the workbook, there's a list of ways to go about researching companies and what to look for. We've also listed online trade publication websites to find company information. Then, when you do your job search, you'll have an advantage over the competition for a job because of all of your research.
At some point of the job search, you may have to fill out a job application, either one you'll get from an employer or online at a company website. Job applications are used by employers as a way to get standardized information from all applicants. Those applicants whose qualifications align closest to the position requirements are considered for an interview. So while what you put on an application won't necessarily guarantee you an interview, a poorly written or incomplete application can certainly eliminate you from consideration.
Many of the applications we get are electronic applications on our website. The system does much of the work, but I usually pull a few out randomly each day just to check on what they're saying. A lot of these applications don't match up with our system. Either the person writes it wrong, puts information into the wrong section, or misspells words. We don't have a spell check setup. We obviously use applications to see if a person is a right match for us, but we also use it to see if they can read and follow directions.
Well, the typical ways to apply for jobs online are either on a company website or on career sites. Another is to visit the company directly and fill out an application in person. If you go into a business to fill out an application, you need to be respectful and look your best. You never know if you might be asked in for an interview.
Hi.
Hi.
So, I think I'd like to work here. Do you need me to fill something out or something?
Would you like an application?
Sure. You know, if that's what you do before you get hired. Thanks. So, by the way, what exactly does this company do?
Sometimes it's actually pretty shocking how people appear when they go into a place of business asking for an application. This is your first impression, and you can't imagine how some people dress or act when they go in. A lot of times, they'll come in t-shirts, don't look professional, or just aren't very polite. They just don't get it. The person you are handing your application to may be the person you end up working for. Every time you go in and fill out an application, you need to look and act professional. Think of it as the first interview.
Hi, I'm Courtney Phillips. I'm here to pick up an application for the network position.
Okay.
Introduce yourself and tell them you're there to pick up an application for a particular position.
Thank you. Can I
If
get
you
two?
can, get more than one, and then check and
Thank
see
you
if you can
very
take it
much.
home with you. If you do, make sure you type it or print neatly. Practice on the copy first. Be ready to fill it out at the place of business. You'll need to bring 2 pens of the same color, preferably black, and have white out just in case. If the application asks what position you're applying for, be specific so the person who reads it knows which job you're after. Then simply pull out your master application, read through the application first, follow directions, and take your time.
Never fill out an application until you've done your homework. First and foremost, you need to make sure you have the minimum qualifications required for the position. Then when you come to both the education and experience parts of the application, you need to tailor your answers specifically to the position you're applying for. For example, if the position opening is for an administrative assistant, you will need to emphasize your work experience in administration, the same way you do with your resume and cover letter. Other items on the application may include when you'll be available to start, whether you want full-time or part-time, and whether you have a shift preference. And most applications will ask what salary you're expecting.
You will often be asked to fill in a salary requirement. The application, though, is just too early in the process to give an employer too much information. Sometimes they can use this question as a screening device, and you don't want to be eliminated from consideration if you go too high or too low. So it's best to say negotiable in that space. However, there are situations where it might be required information. Now, if you choose not to fill in this information, you may put yourself out of the running. So here's where you will need to do your research. There are some good sites on the web where you can research to find out what the pay scales are. Also, the library has trade journals and publications that you can check out.
The workbook provides resources and directions to help you search the web to find out what positions pay. Do your research ahead of time so you're ready to fill out tricky questions, like salary, which may be on the application.
Some companies no longer accept resumes for positions they have open. Rather, they're using their company website to have job seekers register and apply for available jobs online.
What many organizations are doing now is having applicants build an employment profile on their company website. So before you spend time sending a resume and cover letter to a company, review the application instructions carefully on the company website and follow their directions of how they want you to apply. If you don't, your application may not be considered. Applicants can then search for jobs that match their skills and apply directly to that company. Look on the home page to find the career information. And if it's not there, they might list it in the About Us section of the website. And one final item, be really careful with personal information over the web, like your social security number and things of that nature. Identity theft is a serious thing you need to be aware of. Leave those areas blank on an application. Legitimate companies normally won't ask for that information in this stage of the job search.
You'll see that online applications are similar to the way you fill in hard copy applications. As you begin to fill in information to describe your qualifications, you need to use keywords the company uses to match up your skills with those they're asking for in the position. Checking the job posting and description will give you clues you need for keywords. For example, if the job description reads Senior Mortgage Officer, this is an experienced position. Must have originated mortgage loans with a mortgage bank or broker. The prospective candidate must have at least 2 years of industry experience. You would apply for the Senior Mortgage Officer. Then, when you fill in the information on your own experience, you would use keywords to match them up with the position, like originated mortgage loans with a mortgage bank and broker, and the number of years experience you have. Or let's try this one, Security Administrative Specialist. The job description says the ideal candidate will have between 2 to 6 years of experience with security and security clearance policies, practices, and procedures at a minimum. Candidates must be eligible to obtain or possess a top secret polysecurity clearance. By using industry standard keywords to match as much information as you can about a particular position, it will give you a better chance of filtering your application toward the top of the pile of applications an employer receives. Carefully read and follow the directions to what the online application is asking and fill in each block. One of the reasons employers have you complete an application is because they want the same information from all job applicants. If there are questions which don't apply to you, simply write not applicable or NA. And before submitting your electronic application, read it over carefully. As with hard copy applications, employers can quickly eliminate any application which contains grammatical or spelling errors. So make sure there are no mistakes and keep track of where you've applied. If an employer calls to schedule an interview, you'll need to know which position you've applied to. The job application is a legal document, so be truthful and positive. People falsifying information on their application can be terminated. So take your time and do it neatly. Remember, the job application is one of the first impressions an employer will have of you, so make it a good one. If you don't hear from the employer within a week of submitting your application, follow up and ask if interviews are being scheduled. The workbook has a list of tips to keep in mind. We've also developed an example online application you can practice on, along with labor market sites you need to visit prior to starting the process. Be prepared and do it right. Submit an application that will get you an interview.
One of the more popular ways people look for prospective jobs are through want ads. You can find these in most newspapers and industry publications. The Internet also lists many of the newspaper want ad sections from around the nation, so you can find them from almost anywhere around the country. Want ads provide a wide range of jobs available in the community you want to work in. And while internal networks are still the most popular way employers look for applicants, the want ads are still a valuable resource you need to use in your job search.
When I look through the want ads, I can get a pretty good feel on which industries are hiring, what those types of jobs can pay, and the type of experience that they are looking for in my community. It gives me a better idea of the types of jobs that are available that fit my own job profile.
When you look at a want ad, the first thing you should ask yourself is this a job I can do? Having the minimum qualifications for the job is probably the most important item listed in any ad. Now, most new ads appear in either the Sunday or the Wednesday paper, so pay particular attention to these additions. You'll notice the jobs are usually listed in alphabetical order. Typically, each ad contains a brief description of the job and information on how to contact the company, a phone number, an email, or a mailing address. So grab a pen and circle all the jobs that interest you. And if a job appeals to you, the employer expects you to follow the directions exactly as stated. If you're asked to call, then call. If it says to email a resume, then email your resume with a cover letter, and so on. People have been known to find jobs through want ads. Just make sure the job sounds right for you.
I applied at a couple of jobs from the want ads, and I was actually invited in for an interview. It was one of those rock and roll atmosphere promising great pay ads. Well, unfortunately, it turned out to be a 100% commission sales job, which was nothing I had experience in or wanted to do. I now know what to look for and which fit my skills better, and also to stay away from those get-rich-quick ads.
There's a lot of competition when it comes to want ads, so if a job appeals to you and you have the experience it asks for, respond to it immediately. In the workbook, you'll find a detailed list of some helpful hints on reading and responding to want ads.
The World Wide Web boasts of advertising millions of available jobs posted on thousands of career sites from around the world. It has become one of the most popular methods for job seekers. With the web available 24/7, 365 days a year, applicants can respond immediately when a position becomes available. Many of these sites are free, however, some charge for their services. But with so many choices, deciding which site to use can be overwhelming.
I get on the web a few times a week. It's easy to get on these career sites and look for jobs. The hard part is determining which are the legitimate jobs and which are a little bit shaky. After a while, I do see the same positions over and over again, but I also get a better feel for what's out there and how to navigate these sites. The real question is, which are the best?
Using the career sites on the internet can be a little confusing at first. The large ones have millions of jobs listed, but of course that means a lot of competition. Now you can use the more industry-specific sites, but not all of the positions listed on there are legitimate. Some offer full-time employment opportunities while others are only temporary positions. The good thing is that most of them are similar in the way that they function when looking for jobs. Larger job boards or more recognized career sites usually have more features to assist you with your job search. They may have a search agent feature that allows you to set up your personal profile. This is your experience, skills, and education. Then when a position comes along that matches your personal data, they alert you by email of a possible job opportunity. You can use multiple search agents on any number of career sites, but when you do, keep it organized because it can get very confusing tracking all of them.
As you look for jobs on career websites, the broader, the better. You can either start by looking through the job categories or by keyword. The more general you get, the more results you should receive. Think sales, not director of international sales. Use teacher rather than elementary school teacher. The more you can use the industry standard lingo, the better the results will be. On a typical site, once you find the closest position you're looking for, you will see a listing of job postings they have available. If you link to a particular job listed, it should give you information about the position, the company name, location, possibly the salary, the skills, and qualifications required, and the date it was posted. If it's a job that does interest you, you can apply for it. A lot of times, you'll be linked right to the company website to apply. Now, this way, it goes right to their own hiring personnel, and they can filter through all of the submissions. And don't be surprised to see the same job on different sites. Employers sometimes post on several job boards to reach more candidates. You only need to apply once, though. You can also try using a search engine by entering a job title. For example, public relations companies in San Diego, if that's what you were looking for. You'll receive a listing of companies and possibly employment opportunities at those companies.
Job seekers use the web as a faster way to get their names in front of people like myself, who make the hiring decisions. But they should only apply to positions in which they clearly have the skill sets and experience employers are asking for. If the job opening requires specific skills, certifications, industry experience, education, degrees, or licenses, then clearly describe your qualifications within the application or resume you send to me.
When you apply to the positions, you want your name to get to the top of the list of candidates for the job. Make sure your job profile and skills match the qualifications needed for the job to catch the eyes of the decision makers. And because there are so many career sites out there, don't limit yourself to just the most well-known. Use industry-specific sites like technology or healthcare and the more specialized sites. Even part-time and temporary career sites have been created for job seekers to use. And when you do go online with any of these sites, there are some key things to keep in mind. Watch for fake jobs. Some recruiters and headhunters are known to post jobs just to get a sense of what's out there. So avoid the listings with vague job descriptions or those posted by anonymous recruiters. Beware of old listings. Employers sometimes forget to remove online job postings after they filled a position, or they do it to collect more names for future reference. Focus on the most recent listings. Don't get lost in a crowd. There are literally millions of applicants using career sites, and the good jobs can draw thousands of applications from around the world. Use industry keywords so your resume and application will be filtered to the top when employers do a keyword search. Unfortunately, you're measured by your word choice rather than your ability and achievements. On the other hand, don't use trick attention getters. These are pretty resumes with boxes or fancy italics or bullets. These drive scanners and employers crazy. Don't pay for any online sites or services. There are too many free sites which do the job just as effectively. Go to company websites. Many job postings can only be found on a company website and nowhere else. Type in the name or industry of a position you want and go to those employers directly. And importantly, when you do apply for the position, follow the directions of what the employer wants you to do.
The biggest pet peeve for our business is when online job seekers fail to follow the submission instructions we're asking. We ask them to submit a resume, and they attach it. I ask for a cover letter so I know which position they're applying for, and I get nothing. We use this as your first test to see if you can follow directions. And if you can't follow what we're asking, what do you think our first impression about you is?
Some people make the mistake believing if they simply go on the internet, the jobs will be waiting for them. They can spend hours sitting at their computers and tend to use it as the first and sometimes only avenue in their job search. Using the internet for job hunting can be effective, but you've still got to actually get out there and talk to people. Use the internet as a job search tool and integrate it into the way you look for jobs. The workbook has several examples of how to use the internet as an effective tool in your job search.
Something else you will want to do is attend career or job fairs in your area. Here you will have the chance to meet with several representatives from a variety of companies, all in the same room. It's a great opportunity to network and to work on your interviewing skills. Take several copies of your resume and your master application with you. Be ready to fill out a lot of applications and to be interviewed on the spot. Dress as you would for any interview and approach companies that interest you. A lot of companies want to come away from job fairs with most of their positions filled. Job fairs are usually advertised in the newspaper, or you can visit your local employment service office to find job fairs in your area. To save recruitment and training costs, many employers often look internally to fill positions. You might consider temporary jobs as a way to get your foot into the door of a potential company or industry you might be interested in. Temporary jobs offer a wide range of occupations, from industrial to clerical, professional to technical positions. It's a great way to learn new skills, experience a variety of work environments, and as a way to explore different career options. Check the phone book or go online to find temporary agencies that specialize in your field of interest. You can also contact companies you'd like to work for and ask if they carry a contingency workforce. These jobs can often turn into a permanent career for good employees who create their own opportunities.
As promised, we've provided a wide assortment of tools and techniques available in your job search.
And if you know what all of the resources and strategies are and how to use them effectively, the greater the chance you will have of reaching your ultimate goal, finding the right career. Let's go over all the information we've covered once more. First, use your network of contacts as your #1 resource in looking for a position.
Be better prepared in your job search by taking the time to research companies you're interested in working for.
Fill out job applications neatly and completely, both on the hard copy document and online, and follow their directions carefully.
Know how to use and read the Want ads as another tool in your job search.
The internet provides a wide variety of potential positions available to you. Be ready to use this resource as a way to look for jobs.
Visit career fairs in your area as another good place to look for available jobs.
And finally, consider temporary jobs as a possible way to get your foot into an industry you'd like to work in.
Know where to go and how to use all of these available tools in your job search so you increase the chances of landing a good job.
And as you do your job search, realize it's not always the most qualified person who gets the position. Instead, it's the one who's best prepared and presents themselves the best.
The next program in the series will deal with one of the most difficult tools to create in your job search, your resume. How to write a resume and which type is the most effective for specific industries will be covered in the program. After all, it's the resume that will get you into the employer's door for the interview.
And we want you to be that person. Good luck in your job search.